Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I don't have a great rack, lots of vowels and duplicates. However, I think playing K is better than changing. 16 points. Well, still non-bingo-y, but the vowel swamping has ended and I've got a good scoring tile in the Z. Ghazi is good, Ghazi. That would sort the rack out to some extent. Opponent plays J. Is there anywhere for Ghazi? KY doesn't take anything underneath it that I've got. Now I can play Jizz. For 38 points. Not a great rack leave. And quite dangerous putting two vowels next to a premium square. But is there anywhere better for the Z? Well, what about Xyla? The trouble with that is that it sets up a massive spot underneath JA, straight above a double word square. And it burns all of my vowels, so I'm going with this. The rack looking a little more bingo-y. But I can't see a 7 with this rack through an O. I would have Hidalgos. What about the E? That's often a very helpful floater. Well, that's been taken out. Nice bingo by my opponent. And a couple more floaters to consider. Probably the A more promising. Now, what about Hidalga as an alternative to Hidalgo? I'm going to use check rather than to save the time of putting it on the board. Check Hidalga, and it's good. So I think that probably is the play. I'm not going to spend time looking for a better one because I think it's unlikely to exist, and in any event won't be a lot better. So Hidalgas for 78. And I've drawn well. I think Bowsing is good. Yes. So, is there anywhere for that? Well, I'm pretty sure Bowsing doesn't take an S. What about the M? So I can't see anywhere for... Ah, yes I can, because K takes an S. Bowsing plays as a double-double in column 11. That will be huge. I've got a 40-point lead. So Bowsing would boost that a lot. Great. My opponent does not block it. Bowsing for 99. And I draw well again with a balanced rack and the X. Nowhere super huge for the X. And by that I usually mean a vowel next to a triple letter square where the X can score twice for over 50 points. I'll be looking to play off the F or the W with the X. I'm not going to be able to play off both. So I could play fix or fixed in column 12. And I've got fakes, F-A-I-X, in row 11 above Hidalgas. And both of those can't or those, they can't both be blocked. Now, there is a new spot for fix, but I can't put the T on the end. However, the T helps the vowel consonant balance and is a bingo-y tile, so it's quite nice to keep it. So do I play fix? And also wax plays in that spot. I think my natural tendency is to prefer the F to the W. Still one of each unseen. So 16 minutes on my clock. Let me just see what fakes scores. It's probably not pronounced like that. 56 points. And wax, 42. 14 fewer points. However, fakes is setting up a huge X play. Which my opponent may not be able to benefit from. Always tempting to go for the points, especially when I've got a 100-point lead. So this is going to put me 150 in front. And the rack leave isn't too bad. So W and U, not a good combination. And I don't have a bingo with this rack. Fakes has taken out the S, which is quite a useful floater, although not as useful as it was when before Poet was played and a 7-letter play could have been played onto it. Great, only 39 points for my opponent. Index can be extended with ERS or ING. So what am I going to do with this rack? The board quite blocked. I could play door, 21 points. I certainly want to play off one of the U and the W, and I'm inclined to play the W off to generate score. Is there something better than door? N helps the U. Double T, not great, but not disastrous. Row 6, hot, because it's available for a 7-letter bingo ending S. Column 8, available for a 6-letter play ending E. I'm 100 ahead, but I'd like to keep scoring rather than trying to close the board down. So what about playing Tor? 24 points, which is more than due. It's retaining the E. Rack leave as a whole quite nice. Tor does take an S, but any play in row B will open up row A. And Tor is also obstructing column 14, which was a nice 7-letter lane. Yeah, I'm going with this. I pick a second U. One of the hazards of retaining a U. 2 U's, almost always bad news unless you've got a Q. Q still unplayed. However, the T should help me deal with this W problem, because U2 is good, so I could play that in column 14. I'm not going to score well with it. I've also got U2 and U2 in column 13 and U2 in column 8. Now, if my opponent makes an S available, I've got tenuous as a bingo. Although I think that's probably fairly unlikely. Only 2 S's to come. However, both blanks still to come, so probably worthwhile turning over tiles if I can. U2 is not a great play because it's keeping 3 vowels and 1 consonant. My opponent's blocked both of the U2 spots I mentioned, or 2 of them. I've still got column 8. Now, do I have a higher scoring play in column 8? You can go in front of M. Well, yes, I've got Udon. It's as bad as U2 in the sense that I'm retaining the same number of vowels and consonants, but it's better than the U2 plays because it scores a lot more. I'm going with this. And if I draw the Q, this is a good rack leave. I don't draw the Q, and I draw vowels. So, not great. I've got UOI on my rack. The board is quite open for bingos, but I'm 150 points ahead, so I can certainly survive one. And 2 will simply draw my opponent level. I don't have a 6-letter play with this rack, only one consonant. Not great. I could play Auntie through the N. It's only 6 points, but playing off 5 tiles, retaining OE. Worth considering. I can't see any 5-letter plays using just the tiles on this rack. So 15 minutes on my opponent's clock, 13 on mine. 32 tiles in the bag. Jizz has obstructed development of the bottom left of the board because nothing goes in front of it, so plays can't be made down from the C, although the A is still available. So at the moment, my preference is for Auntie. That stays available. Only 24 points for my opponent. And she burns a lot of tiles, which increases her chances of drawing the blank, but also expedites the end of the game, which is good for me. Now, I thought for one moment I had adieu, but HU, not good. So do I have a nice spot for UOI? Well, it plays in column 8, but that's sticking an E out, which is too useful for my opponent to do. Auto available, but I don't want to stick an A in the middle of column 1, so I'm going with Auntie. And I do draw a blank. Fantastic. This rack looking quite bingo-y. Torero is good, and Rooster. Torero, well, it's Toreros, which is playable in row B, making Store, and is also playable in row G, making Sky. I've got red root on my rack. So I think this board is only available for 7-letter bingos ending in S. Nothing else goes in front of Kai or Tor. And I can't see any other 7-letter lanes. Auntie has taken out the N. Great, I'm bingoing. And I've got a choice. Either I play in row B, opening up row A, or I play in row G, opening up column 1. And that opening up would open up the possibility of a triple-triple. So I think row B is the better spot. What about a play in row F ending with the T? That would duplicate the T on my rack. Nothing's coming to mind. Do I have anything fancy involving multiple overlaps? I don't think I do. What about a play in column 2 ending O? I don't think that's better than playing in row B. So Rooters, Rooster, Toreros. Wow, putting an O underneath the triple word square, that's painful. Do I want to do that? Maybe I've got an 8-letter play ending SER. Don't think so. Maybe I should just suck this up. So Toreros, 64. Just thinking about playing it in row G. I think I can survive a triple-triple. And I think the T in penultimate place, not that dangerous. So Torero's 66. I draw the second blank. Fantastic. And I've also got the S for making store. So, is there a 7-letter bingo with this rack? It looks slightly unlikely with the V. Let me cycle through the alphabet and see if anything leaps into my mind. I don't think convos is OES. And I think Vongolese may not take an S. In any event, requires an L, which isn't available. That looks promising. The double O not great. Vio Lonies I think is good through an I. I think N moves is good through an E, so I may have a bingo in column 4. Let me check that while... Actually, I don't think this is good, but let me check it. Nope. Great. Don't need to worry about that. Possibly Venonos, although that doesn't look great. What about non-votes through the T? Nope. Okay, that gets taken out anyway. Great, and only 21 points for my opponent. The R looks quite nice. I've got the over prefix with S-O-N. Can't see anything there. I've got the O-U-S ending. 9 minutes on my clock. Okay, so I haven't seen anything. What new floaters has my opponent provided? Linter, that takes an S in front. Can't see a play with that. A play beginning with I, so I've got the ISO prefix and the in prefix. Can't see anything there. I feel like there could be a bingo here. 8 tiles left. Only 4 vowels. So why don't I play off just O and V? And then if I can dodge the Q, I think I've got good bingo prospects. So where can I play off O and V without damaging bingo lanes? So I've got Vor. That's taking out the L and I as a floater. Can I do better than that? V and O. And I don't want to play off anything more than that because the rest of the rack is pretty perfect given the vowel shortage. Vod not good. Pavo not good. Okay, well, I am going to play VO here. I still have the S front hook for Linter and the S front hook for Tor. Let's see if I can dodge the Q. Well, I can. So, is there a bingo here? And my lanes remain available. My opponent possibly suffering a shortage of vowels, only playing off 2 consonants. I think non-self is good, but that doesn't play. I need the S to be at the beginning or towards the end of the word. So I'm going to run through the alphabet and see if I can see a play. I'm fairly confident there will be one here. That's non-self. 6 minutes on my clock. 4 tiles in the bag. Now, what about this rack? Nope, not seeing anything. Double N, not great. One's drawn to words beginning non, but there aren't very many of those. So, what about Ronells? Yeah, Ronells is good, so I have that in row B. I will just finish the alphabet since I'm so close. Okay, so I'm going to play Ronells for 65. I draw the cue, but I'm 200 points ahead, so this is not a problem at all. I've got QI, Chi, with the I of baited. Do I have a second Q spot? Within a split up A and F, I would have whack for whacks. So I can't see anywhere else for the Q, so I'm probably going to be stuck with it. Except this is quite a difficult spot to block. It's certainly hard to block it and score. And if my opponent does block that Q spot, I can score with the O, with the W rather. So I could play Rose or Rouse in column 8. I can see my opponent's rack at the bottom. Not great. Okay, so, well, I've now got a choice of Q spots. So I can play Q here for 16, which is 5 more points. My opponent's got there, or Erev, or Ever. Does that play anywhere? Possibly not, but anyway, I'm going to play the Q here. So my opponent may not be able to go out. If she can't, can I? I only need to look at the floating vowels. Great, opponent doesn't go out, so I get one more go. 5 minutes on my clock. I can play my W to make Q. I thought for a moment I had Wrens. Nothing goes after Hidalgas. Ras is only good with an E. I've got fours and aunties, which is quite nice. Is there really no out on this board? Well, I think if there was, it would be fairly easily spottable since it is going to require a vowel. And I think I've looked at all the vowels. Opponent's got an E. She can certainly go out in more than one spot. Pause. Okay, so I'm going to play fours for 19. Minutes on my opponent's clock, and she has a choice of places to play her E. Let's just see what the publicly available information is. Okay, number of unfinished games is very low. That's a great stat to see. Okay, and the game is over. What did my opponent do? Esky for 19 points. Where's that? Ah, Hope and Esky, good spot. Now, I don't recall pressing pass to end the game, so maybe that happened automatically. But anyway, the game is over, and the final score, 359 to my opponent, 518 to me, a winning margin of 159 points, so a high-scoring game. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go fast. I played K for 16, that looks fine. Opponent plays J. And now I thought about Xyla, but I didn't like JA double word square, so I played Jizz for 38. Opponent has Trammel, but also Trilemma through the I. And now I have Hidalgas through the A of Trilemma. That looks quite nice. Anecdote. Wow. Common word, but tricky to spot. And this is good for me because I have Bowsing for 99. The only available bingo, and it scores a huge score. Opponent's rack. Plays Poet. Now I have Fakes for 56, or Fay, however you pronounce it. Also available, which I didn't spot, Fixate. Down the centre column for only 3 fewer points. And that has the advantage of not sticking the X in the triple word square lane, so possibly Fixate a better play. Opponent's rack has Index, and at this point I'm 110 points ahead, so I'm in a good spot, although I don't have a great rack. Unwet, A13. Okay, that does get rid of the U and the W, although it provides easy access to row A, so that's not so great. And Tune's not such a bad rack leave. The N helps the U, and the unseen Q also helps the U. Opponent plays CAG. And I play Udon for 23. 24 for my opponent. I'm 120 points ahead. I've got a lot of vowels. And I play Auntie for 6 to kill the floating N, and really just to play off a lot of vowels and turn over a lot of tiles to increase my chances of drawing a blank. But there was 25 available at N1. Okay, quite nice, Knight 8 and he. That is 19 more points than Auntie. Yeah. It does open up column 1, and placing the N in that spot, it makes it available for an ING ending word, although only one I and no Gs to come. However, such a play would be available with the blanks. I play Auntie, opponent plays Of, and whoops, let's go back. I have this rack. Yeah, and Routers and Toreros, the only available bingos, either in row B or row G. Still undecided as to which is best. Opponent plays Linter. Now, did I miss a bingo here? No, I didn't. Okay, I thought I may have done. So I play Vor, keeping a great rack leave, almost guaranteed to bingo if I dodge the Q. Yeah, and a lot of these choices here wreck the rack, so I still like my play. Opponent plays Hop. And now I saw Ronald's and played it. Also available was Nelson's, which I didn't see. Playable in the same spot. Opponent plays Yui. And I play Key for 16. Does my opponent have an out? Yes, C4. C4. Oh, Ever and ERR. Okay, and Veer in the same spot, but she plays Rev. Now, there wasn't an out, and 4s for 19 looks like the highest scoring play. So, quite an exciting game. Always good to score over 500 points, and good to play a lot of bingos, and always nice to get both blanks. So, I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.